I'm sorry, Christians don't make any logical sense. What you mean, how? Well, because how do you guys rationalize God? You guys like to say that since the universe is not eternal, it had to be made. Okay, I understand that fact. But that raises the question, who created God? That always was a big problem for me. It doesn't make any sense. I feel like you guys like to shoehorn God into that. That doesn't, well, for one, that's a straw man on the God of the Bible. He's different. A straw man on your imaginary friend? Be for real, how? This is a common argument from atheists and skeptics, is that if all things need a cause, then God must also need a cause. The conclusion is that if God needed a cause, then God is not God. And if God is not God, then of course there is no God. Everyone knows that something does not come from nothing. So if God is a something, then he must have a cause. And it's just an endless cycle. You don't see the problem with that? Yeah, I do actually. The question is tricky for some because it sneaks in the false assumption that God came from somewhere and then asks where that might be. The answer is that the question does not even make any sense. It's like asking, what does blue smell like? Blue is not in the same category of things that have a smell. So the question itself is flawed. In the same way God is not in the category of things that are created or caused, God is uncaused and uncreated. He simply exists. How do we understand this? We also know that time, space, and matter are a continuum. That means all those things must have come together at the exact same time. Because if you had time but no space, where would you fill that? And if you had time and space but no matter, what would you fill it with? And if you had matter and space but no time, when would you put it? So God answers that problem with the very first line of the Bible. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, time. God created the heavens, space, and the earth, matter. These things cannot exist independently, logically, right? So you're saying we can't really explain that when trying to push the creation of the world without a creator. Yeah, even by definition, the world is what? Created. Because that question is self-defeating in itself. Because even you just said the world is a creation. And whatever is created has a designer. It's simple logic. And scientifically, we know the universe is factually not eternal. It was created 100%. We know that now. How do we know this? We know that from nothing, nothing comes, right? So if there were ever a time where there was absolutely nothing in existence, then nothing would have ever come into existence, period. But things do exist. Therefore, since there could never have been absolutely nothing, something had to have always been in existence. That ever-existing thing is what we call God. God is the uncaused being that caused everything else to come into existence. God is the uncreated creator who created the universe and everything in it. Make sense? Wow. I mean, yeah, that makes sense, but it's just hard for me to understand or imagine that, bro. It's the truth. So for example, the person who invented Tekken is not inside of the computer. Because if the creator of Tekken always lived inside the game and played by its rules, they would not have been able to create it in the first place. Again, there is no God of the gaps. Don't be afraid, bro. There has to be something or someone outside of the world by necessity, right? Outside of the limitations of the world, who made the limitations or laws of science to begin with. Logically. Yeah, that is logical. I remember you said that. Bro, if we understood God completely to every little minute detail, then he would not be God. He's supposed to know more and have some things about him that we will never understand or completely comprehend. What's important is, does he love us like he say he do? And if the relationship he has with us is genuine. But that doesn't mean we stop doing good science to try and understand him. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I see your perspective. It makes logical sense. It's all connected to work.